Hi there. So I think before we start, I'd just introduce Luminous Ventures very quickly, and then we can talk to Michael about Hadean and the exciting things we're doing there. So Luminous is a deep tech, London-based seed fund, currently 25 million euros under management, raising a second fund now of 100 million. We invest predominantly in deep technology, at seed, across life science, healthcare, agriculture, nutrition, and with a broader remit also for novel platform technologies, which brings me on to Hadean, a business that we invested in at seed. We were the first investor 2.5 years ago, having known Rash, the founder, from a previous business we'd invested in. We were really interested in Hadean as an application in life science and healthcare, of course, a space we know well. But as Michael will explain, Hadean has many, many applications as a platform technology. So with that, I'll hand over to Michael, and you can explain who you are and what Hadean does and what the journey so far.
Sure. So my name's Michael. I'm the VP of Sales at Hadean. And to give you a bit of context about Hadean, we're a 3.5-year-old startup. We've raised £12.35 million to date in the context of a seed round and seed extension. We are an engineering company with a principal focus in distributed computing. So our ambition is to build a general-purpose platform for distributed computing. The starting point for us technologically was, if you look at some of the most significant challenges that people are trying to solve right now, if you look at something like climate change, economic equality, the way that we're approaching this from a software level, from a computational level, a lot of times we have line of sight on the way to solve this problem, but the technology that we have access to doesn't have the capacity to get us there. There's significant bottlenecks, and that was principally what Hadean was designed to solve or to mitigate. So if you look at anything from industrial scale big data to specific applications, as in life sciences, like the mapping of the human genome, the biggest problem has to do with scalability. So there gets a point in any application or algorithm's life right now using the existing technology stack where it's just not economically feasible to proceed any further. There are performance and reliability guarantees that are compromised, and the way things are currently done is you sink 10, 20, 50 people's time for months to a year. You sink millions of dollars into this project, and at the end of this venture, the application might just fold. There's no guarantee that it'll hold up. So for us, we wanted to solve this problem very much at its roots, the issue of scalability. And Hadean's technology is principally about creating what we call scale invariant programming. That is for a single developer to be able to write code on their laptop that can as efficiently deploy a program locally on their computer as it can on tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of VMs in the cloud. And I think the difficulty of approaching a problem like this is very much that oftentimes if you're doing a deep tech R&D initiative, it can be quite abstract, right? So as you alluded to, Max, part of our journey has been about demonstrating product market fit at an application level. We very much want our foundational technology, which we call Hadean OS, a cloud-first operating system, to allow developers to build any application that they want at any scale. But to demonstrate this from a pragmatic perspective, as a startup with a finite runway, the best way for us to proceed was to build a cardinal application ourselves and showcase what Hadean OS could do. So for us, we looked at a number of different libraries. We were initially developing libraries that spoke to risk modeling and financial services. We likewise were working with genomic alignment with some of the pharmaceutical companies. We were doing some big data projects with Samsung. But ultimately, where we found the most traction was with a spatial simulation library that we built on top of Hadean OS called Ether Engine. And this started to pull us, interestingly, into the gaming industry. So from a business perspective, gaming was quite attractive because, to be frank, it didn't have some of the compliance barriers and red tape relative to something like the pharmaceutical industry or financial services. From a computational perspective, it's a super interesting space. It's oftentimes the cutting-edge technologies that we take for granted now are developed within this field. And from a usability perspective, the gaming industry is full of developers who are early adopters. They're willing to work with technology. It might be a little bit rough around the edges, but they'll have a good go at it if they recognize that it's a powerful, if nascent, technology. So that's kind of been our journey to date. Our principal focus from an application level is exploring the gaming industry with the Ether engine. At the same time, we're using that exact same technology that we're using to serve the development of cloud-first, massively multiplayer games in lateral application areas such as life sciences. So we're partnered with the Francis Crick Institute, which is a world-renowned medical research facility. They're using this technology that is used to put 10,000 players in a single game world. They're using that same tech to deploy their biomolecular research initiatives in their quest to cure cancer.
That's a great summary, and I think it neatly summarizes some of the challenges and things to think about when being an early stage seed startup operating on finite runway and having a technology with multiple applications, and actually finding, as I said, when we originally invested, the main thesis was around life science, but actually it turns out that gaming was a much better sandbox and testbed, and was a much better market for what Hadean is doing. So I think on that note, given that you have spent most of your time in gaming in the last 3.5 years, is just explain the traction you've got to date, some of the partners you've worked with, and what you actually do and what value you add to them.
Certainly. So the Ether engine, Hadean OS, is designed to be an agnostic technology platform. So we never wanted to be in a position where we went to market and said, hey guys, we've got this great tech, but you can only use it in this specific combination with this cloud provider and this rendering engine and this third-party SDK. So for us, from a partnership perspective, it's important to forge relationships at multiple levels and horizontally as well as vertically. So right now we've got commercial partnerships with both Microsoft and Google. Equally, we've got integration opportunities with Unreal Engine and Unity, who are the de facto rendering engines in the gaming industry. We've got customer partnerships with the likes of CCP Games, who are the creators of EVE Online, one of the most long-standing and popular and commercially successful games in the industry. It's lasted 16 years and counting. And we're exploring opportunities with a host of other studio partners, including Microsoft's first-party studios.
That's interesting. And so how do you, let's take CCP, for example. I'm not sure who here plays EVE Online, but explain how you can help work with CCP on a massively successful, massively MMO RPG game such as EVE.
Yeah, so CCP is an interesting one. So we forged a relationship with them at GDC, the Game Developer Conference last year. They were initially quite skeptical of our technology, and we got to a point where we said, OK, guys, why don't you throw us a hard problem that you're looking to solve, and we'll demonstrate the viability of our technology. Now, EVE Online set the Guinness World Record for most concurrent players in a single game world last year. They put 6,142 players in this single instance game world. It's quite an amazing feat. But by their own admission, that wasn't an optimal gaming experience. It was marred by server crashes, significant slowdown, etc. They've cleverly built one of their limitations as a game feature. So within EVE Online, all of the combat takes place in the context of something they call time dilation. It essentially slows everything down to sub-real time. Now, they've cleverly spun this as a feature, but in reality, they've done this to mitigate the server load. So they don't have the capacity to do real-time combat at scale, and that was something that they were very much interested in doing. The Ether engine essentially removes the cap of the existing technology stack. So if you think about gaming right now, a game developer or a studio has a brilliant idea, but when it comes time to turning that into practice, it's, OK, I want to build a game, but it has to fit within the confines of this specific box. The Ether engine provides a dynamically scalable backend, so your game can be unbounded in scale or fidelity. We went to GDC this year with CCP Games, and we ran a technology demo that we called EVE Ether Wars that produced a single game world with 14,000 connected players and agents, which blew the own Guinness World Record that they set out of the water. So for us, what we provide as a business to developers and studios in the gaming industry is a backend that integrates with all their existing workflows and tools. And essentially, it allows them to milk all of their capabilities further, stronger, faster than they are able to do today.
Great. So what next for Hadean? I think progressing with gaming is clearly very much underway. As you mentioned, the Francis Crick working on their data sets there. What's next, and what can we see from you in the next 18 months?
Yeah, so gaming is an interesting test bed in that when we talk to someone like the Francis Crick Institute, one of the first questions we ask is, well, how are you doing things today? And interestingly, what a lot of these scientific organizations said is, well, to be honest, we use technology that's from the game industry. We use the game engines because that's the cutting edge, and that's what they use for simulating the biomolecular level, right? So for us, gaming provides opportunities and avenues into a lot of lateral application areas. A prime example of this is AI training and safety. Right. So if you look at some of the stuff that DeepMind is doing, the likes of DeepMind, they're demonstrating and training their AI agents within the context of gaming, within the context of games like Dota, within the context of games like Go even, or chess as a very basic level. So for us, creating a sandbox-type game world allows us to simultaneously develop applications in AI. It allows us to create a general-purpose AI that's far more sophisticated than what's been able to do today. That's part of the partnership that we're engaged with Google about, and the likes of Microsoft, for the initiatives as much outside of gaming as their applications within. From that, there's a host of other opportunities, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as the VP of sales, we were talking about this earlier, the hardest part of my job at this point in time has been about saying no to opportunities as much as saying yes.
Focus, yeah. So.
Correct. So
yeah.
With a general purpose technology platform, I think the exciting thing and the danger simultaneously is that you can go in about 20 different directions. Right now, we're very specific to gaming. Yeah. We've got a clear path in our minds as to what the most impactful application areas that map ultimately to our company vision are. And I think general AI and training and safety is a great next route to get there.
Yeah, and a huge theme for years to come. So.
Hopefully so.
Absolutely. OK. Great. I think we're done now. So
thank you so much, guys.